Hi guys, so a Polish politician stood up in the European Parliament to lambast the European Union in its response to Boris Johnson's request for a trade deal and its red lines surrounding a possible trade deal. Now it's interesting because this politician in particular used to be a member of the Burlington Club, the Burlington Club that Boris Johnson used to be a member of. And he's aligned with the Law and Justice Party in Poland, which is a right-wing party. So let's hear what he has to say.
As Deputy Chairman of the EU-UK Friendship Group, I would of course like for that to be a deal, but I'm beginning to despair. Our red line and our politics is that we want to preserve the integrity of the single market. The British Prime Minister has communicated to us that Britain cannot accept a deal which puts Britain under the jurisdiction of the ECJ.
And that's in respect to EU laws. It's not covering everything. It's about EU laws. Now, I understand that the Law and Justice Party are not, let's say, to put it lightly, friendly towards the ECJ or the European Union as a whole, because the European Union have been putting pressure on Poland to respect human rights, basically, and the rule of law. The Law and Justice Party have been attempting to influence politically the independence of its judiciary in Poland. And the European Union have not been happy about that because, they stand up for human rights and Poland are encroaching on human rights within their country. This government is encroaching on human rights. And this politician here is aligned with that party. So, of course, he's going to be critical of the ECJ.
Or that bounds the House of Commons in any way in future in determining Britain's commercial arrangements. That seems to me to make a deal impossible, because the nature of a treaty, any treaty, is that you will do in future what the treaty says and not as you please.
Where does it say that? The European Union has said we want to have a treaty, we want to have an agreement with the UK, and one of the conditions is that EU laws are under the jurisdiction of the ECJ. If EU laws regarding trade or goods or services are broken, then it's referred to the ECJ. It doesn't talk about other issues, it's talking about EU laws. But that's their condition. Now you can say this makes a deal impossible. But I think that's the decision that the negotiators can come to.
And therefore, our red lines don't seem to touch at any point. And therefore, I would urge you to stop demanding the impossible from our negotiators and start preparing for what is regrettable, but seems to be inevitable, which is a very hard Brexit indeed.
But the European Union have been preparing for a no deal. They have been doing it for years now. So you're telling them they need to prepare. They have already prepared, because Theresa May's government introduced the idea, and Boris Johnson followed up on it, the idea of a no-deal Brexit. And as soon as that was put on the table as a threat against the European Union, what did the European Union do? They said, okay, let's prepare for it. Hopefully we don't need to implement it, but let's prepare for it. Now, the UK government has used it continually as a threat. If we don't get what we want, we're walking away. The European Union have been quite clear since the beginning. These are the conditions that we will accept. If you don't want to reach an agreement on these conditions, then we're walking away. You're talking about walking away as well. But if the EU have said at the beginning, these are what we will accept, then it's up to the UK to decide whether they want to trade with the EU or not. To say that the onus is on the EU to compromise goes only so far. It's if you want to compromise, but certain parts of this compromise could damage European integration. And I think if you're the EU, you don't want to damage that. So why would you be willing to throw that away to satisfy whom? To satisfy Boris Johnson's government? To satisfy the UK? At what benefit? This is once again the Eurosceptics within the European Parliament attempting to undermine the European Parliament. They're siding with the UK at the moment, but when the UK leaves, they will side with someone else. It's once again a game that they're playing. They don't actually care about the UK. They don't care about Boris Johnson or Brexiteers or the British people. They're using it as a tool to gain influence or to create a wedge between themselves and the European Union for some other battle they have later down the road. And at the moment, Poland is in conflict with the European Union. Poland is breaking human rights laws. It's acting anti-democratically. And the European Union is attempting to slap it on the wrists for that. And this, I think, is an attempt to fight back on an issue that's unrelated to either Poland or the EU. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks.